Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are soaring the highs again on Nasdaq, and we're absolutely about to break them. As you can see, this is a live trade that we are currently in, and it's one of those days where I'm recording, a video for YouTube, and I'm actually in the trade with the whole team. And the good thing about this trade is I actually dropped it in the free signal group. If you're not in that group, I don't know what you're doing, because you're missing out big time. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? How you guys doing? I am doing absolutely lovely, and I told you at the beginning of the week that we are about to have a really smooth week, right? So it is a beautiful Tuesday, and we've already gotten 3 smooth trades, right? We had a first buy on Nasdaq, we had a second sell on gold, and today we've absolutely destroyed Nasdaq with that buy that I caught right from the bottom, as you can see running over here. And guess what? We absolutely caught that with the whole team, right? So technically, this is really going to be a big week in the financial markets, as tomorrow we are looking for... Oh, y'all probably gonna see this video tomorrow. But then tomorrow it is going to be FOMC in the evening, so you'll get this video before FOMC, but it'll be after CPI, of course. Either way, it's still a big week in the financial markets, because tomorrow we have FOMC, with Mr. Powell, and then before that we're going to have CPI, and then the next day we're going to have the producer price index, released, and it's going to be an absolutely volatile week. We already know that we are always going to capitalize when the market is volatile, right? So we're going to get inflation rate, words from the Federal Reserves, and a whole lot of market volatility, right? So we're obviously going to capitalize on each and every single movement that we are seeing in the market. So now, before we dive into deep to the video, if you're new to the channel, welcome. We trade Nasdaq over here. If you're returning, welcome back. We know what's up. Don't forget to hit the like button, turn your post notifications, and subscribe to the channel, because when we hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a little giveaway, funding 10 different accounts and giving 10 different people free mentorship, right? So I already have a list of names of those people I'm already seeing so consistent from the days we started, and they're ever so consistent with the videos, right? So I already have, a list of those names, then we're gonna just select the most consistent members of the channel, and then, appreciate them for their, beautiful support and work, right? But that said and done, let's just dive right into the video. Oh, volatility in the market is indeed expected to be low before we get into CPI, which is tomorrow. But as you can see, we did manage to capitalize on a few trades, right? You can see we have gold right over here, and this is a 30-minute time frame trade that we wrote down from last night, yesterday, throughout to this morning. I woke up a couple of times at 2 a.m. as you can see over here, checking on the trade. I'm more confident when I'm trading Nasdaq, so I'm always going to want to check on the trades if I'm not trading Nasdaq, right? So you can see that we did capitalize. We're going to explain the analysis, but you also see that right now we have a Nasdaq trade which is running, and the explanation for this trade is actually on the weekly analysis. Nothing too complicated over here. We actually capitalized on the sessions, right? I was about to switch off the session, but then if we look at it right over here, I'm always, emphasizing on that fact of trading during the session. Why? Because that is when the market is more volatile. That's when the big players are actually in the market with us. We want to capitalize on those big moves, right? So there's no reason for me to be looking at the market when it's not volatile. So as you can see over here, we just seen the volatility stepping up. It was like consolidating over here, playing around, and then it got to this trend line over here. And I had already explained this on the weekly analysis using the 4-hour and the daily time frame, saying that the market has already broken this, and it's a retest right over here. And then I said that we should look for buying positions at this resistance zone, right? Instead of you trying to sell at these zones, you should just look for buying positions, because Nasdaq has been showing us time and time again that it always breaks the highs and it's always flying up to the top. As you can see right now, it's even trying to threaten these current highs that we have over here. And who knows, right? We might sleep with this trade already breaking out of these high zones, and you already know what we're going to do if it actually does that, right? So for tomorrow, for CPI, I don't think it'll be anything complicated. As you can see that it is, looking as if it will break out of these zones. So using that simple analysis, we did catch a decent amount of pips. So this buying limit, right? I literally gave it on Monday yesterday, right? and then look at the numbers, right? This is 18,975, right? So you never go wrong when you are trading with the institutional zones, right? And then look at the trade, right? Look at this. This is 18,975. It was a literal sniper entry, right? And then we also have gold, which hit, a support on the daily. And then the current top setups on gold are getting bullish reading, obviously, because of that, rejection that we got on a support level on the daily time frame, right? And we obviously did notice that Nasdaq, gold, and, silver, those that check out those charts, those have been the top bullish charts this week. We have, Us30 and the S&P 500 kind of playing around a little bit, but then Nasdaq, gold has been showing us, good bullish momentum just for these 2 days of the current week, right? And then obviously, that I am always speaking from institutional money, right? Information that I get from non-commercial data, right? So that's about it. On gold, you can see that even, minus the fact that we actually just rejected on a daily time frame, right? And then obviously we were bullish, and then I did give a buying signal on gold, but then the limit has not yet been triggered, right? It's still just playing around. I just want to explain, the setup that I took yesterday. See right over here, this was last night, and then I like to explain the trade as it plays out, instead of explaining it after it has already played out. I always like to record like when it is playing out, what I am seeing currently in the market and how I am reacting, so that it's easier for someone to understand that explaining for something that has already played out and I have not taken the trade. So on my 1 hour time frame, that I always want to capitalize on institutional money, right? You can see that is like a bank zone that we have over there, and then obviously I'm going to mark the little highs that it had before it got into that zone. And then the thing that I liked about this chart, it had tapped on that zone, right? So I always want to trade like that. So this was my room for drawdown, and you can already see that it had spiked down to the bottom, right? So I was expecting a little bit of a retracement. That's the only thing that I used to make this analysis, right? So the little drop that it had over there, and then the fact that it's sitting at an institutional zone, I really wanted to capitalize on this particular trade, right? So obviously it was an impulsive entry because I did not wait for a rejection. You can see on the 30-minute time frame over there, it does have a little pin bar candle, but then you can see that institutional candlestick is kind of like confirming every single thing, right? This is when I just took the trade. I could have waited for a little bit more confirmation, but it was kind of like late, right? So I ended up just taking the trade. As you can see it running over here, I got into two. So I entered 2 positions. No, I entered 3 positions at first, and then you can see them running right over here. And then I was waking up at night, checking this trade. I woke up so early. You can see it is 6 o'clock in the morning, right? We woke up so that we can just check out this trade on gold, and it had absolutely dropped right down over there. This is how we ended up having 100 pip move on gold, right? So that was why it was just a short little scalping trade, because you see that the gold trade, we're saying that it has rejected at a major daily time frame support, right? And then you can see that it's already kind of like trying to push a little bit higher. See, we have a low right over here, we have a higher low over here, we even have another higher low right over there. So if you know your price action, you can draw your trend line right over there, and this would be a really smooth trade if it's respected tomorrow for CPI and FOMC later in the evening. And then obviously for Nasdaq, right now my take profits, some of my entries have been closed because I had a take profit right over there. But then if I see good price action right over here, if it breaks and closes out of the zone, you already know on the lower time frames, that's what I'm going to be checking. I am actually just going to dive right into the trade and hold it up until tomorrow, right? We don't play around with pips when they come to us so freely, right? So depending on what the data comes out like tomorrow, right, we'll be looking good to still go bullish on Nasdaq, right? Obviously, if it goes to the highest highs right over here, if it breaks out, in the case that it does break out and is at this zone, we're just going to be looking to, we'll obviously want to now just wait for a little, pullback, and then it will have to still retest these zones, right? And then we'll push up with it to the top. If you did enjoy that video, don't forget to hit the like button, turn your post notifications, and subscribe to the channel. You feel me? With that, it's been Tino, and I'm out.